All right, everyone. This is your classwork for Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday, September 30th. I know my days of the week. Um, these are the supplies you need for today. You need a calculator, pen or pencil, the ratios packet, and a great big smile, just because. Today we're going to be doing 4 pages. It sounds like a lot. 4 pages in the ratios packet. We're doing the markups and discounts and percent of change. And I'm really excited for this because we have two awesome activities the next 2 days that are going to be really, really fun. I think they're going to be fun. Okay, so we're going to start with the markups and discounts. Just kind of like we've always been doing. Whoa, I don't know why these are backwards. Let me switch them while I'm talking. Just like we've been doing, there'll be 1 page of notes and then 1 page of practice. With the markups and discounts, they're a little more involved with like equations and stuff that we haven't really gotten into before. So there is going to be, I believe there's four equations that we're going to be taking notes on. So if you want to get your notebook actually as well, just to have those because we'll be visiting these formulas, these equations throughout the year. So it might be good to have them in your notebook, not just in the ratios packet. And I'm actually going to be walking you through, I think, almost all the practice problems too as well, just so I know that you guys are going to be set when it comes to markups and discounts. Okay. All right. So let's get to it. Let me just zoom in a little bit here. Okay. I'm not struggling. All right, let's do, I haven't used red in a while. Okay. Markup. So markup basically is going to be, well, it's really thick. Hang on. There we go. Yep, that's good. Oh, lordy. Okay. Here we go. Markups. Markups are basically going to be an increase in price. An increase in price. Whereas discounts are going to be well, I'm sure you know what a discount is, but a discount is going to be a decrease in price. Okay. So let's talk about both of these. We'll start with discounts just because those are more familiar. These are just basically the definition of these. So a discount is essentially a reduction in the cost of an item or items. Okay. Whereas markups are an increase in the cost of an item. Now, that's an M. Okay. Now with markups, you'll see things like legit markups with prices. So like maybe some vinyl album becomes crazy popular, so they're gonna increase the price for selling it just because they can make more money, right? So sometimes there's just a markup in items, or like gas prices go up, right? So there's gonna be markups just for markups. These are also when we talk about taxes. So like when we have sales tax. Sales tax is when you're buying items like clothing, food, that type of thing. whenever we're buying that there's a sales tax on those items, that actually increases our total price. I'm sure you guys have heard of taxes before, but there's your kind of explanation of it. So taxes, also like tips, right? So if you go to a restaurant, not that many people are doing that these days, but maybe you're getting Grubhub delivering food to your house, right? And you're going to tip the driver. Generally, there's going to be a percent of tip that you give them, where there's like 10%, 20%, 25%, depending on how good they are, right? So you're adding an additional cost to your original price. So it's a markup, an increase in price. Okay. So before we jump into going over examples of these, I'm actually going to write the equations out, the formulas that we're going to be using. Just because I don't think we can dive right into it without understanding kind of the concept behind all of it. So this is where you're going to want to take some notes because it doesn't have this on there. So you can write it on the packet, you can grab your notebook, write it in your notebook, type it in your computer, I don't care, but have it somewhere, okay? So let's talk about buying stuff really quick. Let's say that we're buying, just because I already mentioned this example, let's say we're buying a vinyl, right? That doesn't look right. Vinyl. Do I know how to spell vinyl? Hang on, I want to make sure I get this right. English, right? I was right the first time. Okay. It just looked funny, I guess. Okay. That was a weird V. We're buying a vinyl album, so like a record, right? A vinyl album. And let's say that the price of this vinyl album is, we're just going to make this easy on ourselves. This would be crazy cheap for a vinyl album, but let's just say it's $10, okay? If we are paying full price, or what is also called wholesale cost. Wholesale cost is just a fancy way of saying full price, right? The original cost of it. If we're paying full price, it's going to be the whole $10, right? I don't know why I just wrote 100. The whole $10, okay? Now, if we think about, let's think about money. I'm going to draw us a lovely picture. Okay, so each of these are $1. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have $10 here. So this is going to be the full price. Full price. Now, when we're paying the full price of something, we are paying 100% of the original cost. Right? If it costs $10 and we're paying $10, we're paying 100% of that original cost. Not more, not less, 100. Okay? Now, one thing I want to point out is that 100% in decimal form, right? If we were to divide by 100 to get it into a decimal, we would, divide by 100, we would get 1.00, so 1. Okay. Now I know you're like, why are we bringing decimals into this? Just trust me. Go with me on this. Okay. Now let's say that I'm going to be paying actually we'll stick with our colors, a markup. So I'm going to be paying sales tax. We're going to say it's sales tax. And just to make it easier on easy on ourselves. What is with me and words today? I don't know. Markup sales tax to make it easiest on ourselves. We are going to say that sales tax is 10%. It's not, it's more around like 7%. I can't remember exactly what it is, but around 7. But let's just say it's 10%. Okay. So that means we have our full $10, right? So here's 100%, 0%. So that's $0. This would be $10 because it's full price, right? So if I'm paying an additional, so I'm paying additional 10%, that means whatever the item costs, so whatever this vinyl album costs, 10% of that, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 10% of this $10, 10% of it is going to be $1. Okay. So there's 10%, right? Because if we have 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100%, right? So 10% would be $1. That means I'm not paying $9. We're not taking it off. We're taking that 10% of whatever the item costs, and we're adding that much. Okay. So instead of it costing, let's use black there. Instead of it costing $10, right, we're adding another dollar there. Okay. So the total cost now with the markup, we're adding $1. So the markup is $1, right? That means the total, so the markup price, total price with the markup, that means with, by the way, with the markup, is now going to be $11. So we're taking 10% of whatever the item costs and adding it to it and paying a new increased amount. Okay. Now at discounts, it's going to be the opposite. Discounts is going to be the opposite. We are going to, let's say that we have a discount on, let's say we're at Barnes and Noble, they sell vinyl albums, and we have a membership there, and we're going to get 10% off the vinyl album. Okay. So subtracting, not additional, we're subtracting. Okay. So if we have our original $10, let me scoot this over, make it a little easier to see. Actually wasn't planning on explaining it this way, but I think this is going to be easier to understand. Okay. So we have 0%, which would be $0, 100% of the item, which would be $10, right? So if we're discounting, we're taking 10% off. Well, we're going to find 10% of 100, 10% of 100, which would be that $1 again. But this time we are taking it off, right? So if we were to subtract 10% from 100%, well, we would get 90%, which is the discount price. So we're paying 90% of the item instead of 100%, right? We took that 10% off instead of added the 10% this time. Okay. Now think about these, all of them in decimal form as well. So we already did paying 100%. So 100% of the original cost, which is $10, would be equal to saying like 1 in decimal form, right? Now, 10% in decimal form, right? So if we have 10%, we're going to divide by 100 to get it into a decimal. We would get 0.10 or 0.10. Okay. So with this markup sales tax, we're starting with the full one, the 100%, and then we're adding 10%. Okay, so in decimal form, we're adding 0.1. So I'll write this in percent form too. I just want you to make the connection between the percent and the decimal here. Now on this one, we're doing the opposite. So we're starting with the 100% and then we're taking off. So we're subtracting that 10% or the 0.1 in decimal form. Okay. Again, I'm showing you this just to give you the connection between percents and decimals, and you'll see why I'm doing that in just a minute when we talk about the formulas. Okay. Whew. I know that's kind of like a lot of information already, and you're gonna get even more. Okay, so let me kind of separate this. I wanted to have an example explained first before we go into the formulas. Okay, so I'll zoom in a bit. I'll zoom in to write the formulas and then zoom back out, and we can kind of refer back to that example I just talked about with the vinyl record. Okay. All right. So let's first talk about discounts. I guess I should use blue because that's what we were using before. Discounts. Okay. Okay, we're first going to talk about the scenario where we want to know. Okay, we want to know. So if a question asks you this, we want to know how much we pay after the discount. Whoa. No, I don't want to do this. I totally meant to hit the other option. Sorry, guys. Ooh, okay. Where were we? After, okay, so how much we pay after the discount is taken off. So our new discount price, okay? So remember, this scenario is basically, what just happened there? We are taking, just kind of reiterate what I said earlier, we're taking some amount off of the original 100%, okay? I want to make this like as clear as possible. That's why I'm kind of repeating myself. Some amount off the original 100% amount. Okay, so the formula for this, we're gonna call, actually, yeah, we'll just use, I'll use a lighter blue. That'll work. Goodness. Promise I'll get together sometime. All right, so discount price. Discount price. So this is what we're finding this time. So discount price. So this is the price after we take some discount off. Okay, so this is like what we're paying at Barnes & Noble after we take the 10% off, okay? So the discount price is going to be the original price we're going to multiply it by 1 minus the discount amount in decimal form. I'm actually going to erase this word and write it in that blue we've been using for discount. Okay, so we have the original price. So 100% of that original price. Remember, 100% in decimal form is 1, and then we're subtracting the discount amount in decimal form. So if it's the 10% we're taking off, right? So if it's the 10% we're taking off, we are subtracting 0.1, which means that we're paying the 90%. We're paying the 90%. Okay. So there's discount price. So the price we're paying after we take the discount off. So key thing there is after we're taking the discount off. What we want to know. Okay. So there's one for you. Let's keep going. Still discounts. But now we want, I'm actually gonna, let's write discount. I just want to make this really clear what we're talking about. Now let's do price after discount. That's why we use erasable things, right? Price after discount. Now we're going to talk about discount amount. Discount amount. So the discount amount, what I mean by that is this is when we want to know how much we are saving or taking off the original price. Okay, so this is basically the discount amount is this right here, right? We're taking that much off of the whole original price. Okay, and maybe I'll actually highlight that here. Actually, no, I'm not going to. Okay. All right, so let's talk about how to find the discount amount. So how much we're saving. So the discount amount is going to be equal to the original price. And then we're going to multiply the original price by the discount amount in decimal form. Now I keep saying in decimal form. If your calculator has like the percent symbol, you can use that and that's totally fine. So you just type 10 and then the percent button. But a lot of calculators don't specifically have that. So that's why I'm giving you this general formula that you can use with any calculator. Okay, so in decimal form. Again, I'm going to write this blue Discount amount in decimal form. Okay. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay. So that's how we find out how much money we are taking off of whatever is discounted. Okay, like if we have a coupon or there's like a holiday sale or something, that type of thing. All right, now let's talk about the markups. Okay, this first one we're talking about is the price after the markup. So the total amount we're paying after we're taxed or after we're adding the tip, after the gas inflation prices that make gas prices go up, whatever the markup case may be, this is going to be the total price after we add that amount. Okay, so kind of like the price after discount, but it's price after markup. Okay, so now I want to do a slightly different color here. Let's do orange. Okay. Actually, sorry, let me explain this first. So this is when we want to know. So if you're ever asked questions that are phrased something like this, how much do we pay after tip or after taxes or after the markup? So how much do we pay after the markup? So after tips, taxes, etc., whatever's increasing the price. Okay. Okay. So let's get to the formula. The markup price, that's what we're going to call it, the markup price. So the total price after the markup is going to be the original amount and we're going to multiply it by 1 plus the markup amount in decimal form. Now, hopefully you recognize that this looks familiar, right? I'm going to draw a line and then I'll erase it, but here we have original amount and we're multiplying it by 1 plus some amount. Here we have the original price and we're multiplying it by 1 minus some amount, right? Subtracting, adding. That is the only difference. So the subtraction sign and the addition sign. It's the only difference between the price after the discount formula and the price after the markup formula, right? Because price after markup, we're increasing, so we're adding some amount, right? Price after discount, we're taking off some amount from the original price, okay? Hopefully this is starting to make some sense to you. Hopefully. All right. We have one more formula. One more. Then we'll get to it. Okay. Let's go down here. Red. Okay. This is going to be same with what we did with discount amount, but this time we're doing the markup amount. So this is basically like how much we're adding, right? How much we're adding to our original price. So when you're asked a question that is asking that, we want to know how much we pay, or sorry, how much we are adding to the original amount. So this is like, how much is the tip? Or how much are taxes? Right? Or how much is the increase in price? So if you're asked one of these questions or something similar, it's talking about the markup amount. Okay, so it's not the total price we're paying. Let's say we're buying that album, right? It's not the total price we're paying for the album plus taxes. It's just the taxes part. Okay, this would be the total price after the taxes. All right, so let's do this. Markup amount, drum roll, is equal to, you can probably guess, the original amount. Now we're going to multiply it by the markup amount in decimal form. Okay, so hopefully this looks familiar as well, right? If we look at discount amount, we're taking the original price and multiplying it by the discount amount. With the markup amount, we're taking the original price and multiplying it by the markup amount. So basically it's the same exact formula, but with one, we have a discount, so it's going to be less, right? With markup, it's going to be more. Okay, so I will actually post like a screenshot of this, all these notes, when we're done with all of the pages, all 4 of the pages. Okay, just so you know, just so you can reference that in case it was a little difficult to take notes or something. So now, using those formulas, we are going to answer these questions. All right, let's do these. Now, it does ask you to use a line diagram. You don't have to. It's just a good way to visualize what's actually happening. Okay, so on the questions on the next page where you're answering by yourself, you don't have to draw the line diagram, but sometimes it helps. Okay. All right, so examples. We're going to fly through these now that we have the formulas. Okay, a video game has a 70% markup, so that's important information. It has a wholesale cost, so total original cost of $9. What is the sales price? What is the sale price? So that's saying what's the total cost after we add the 70% markup. Okay. All right, let's do this. The first thing we're gonna do actually is look at that 70%. We're gonna look at that 70% and put it in decimal form. Jimbo, come here, bud. You're okay. Sorry, my dog's getting excited. One of my dogs. Okay, so we're gonna put it in decimal form just to keep that in mind, because we're gonna take off that amount or add on that amount, right? We know we're talking about markup, so we're gonna be increasing the amount, right? So let's look at this diagram. Okay. So if we have $0 to start, but the wholesale cost of the total cost is $9. The total original cost is $9, right? This amount right here, that's the wholesale price. So the original, OG for original. Okay. All right. So basically what we're saying is that we want to find what 70% is. So that's going to be around 70%. We're going to find what 70% of that amount is, and we're going to add it. We're going to add it on top of the whole 100%. I know those lines aren't the same length, but you get the gist. So we're adding 70% on top of the entire 100%. So now we have 170% of the original price. Okay. Now, quick note here, 170% would be 1.7 in decimal form. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's do this. Using our formula, we're trying to find the price after we add the increase, the markup. To do that, we're going to use our formulas, and we're going to say the original price, which is $9. Okay, now we're going to multiply that $9 by 1 plus, right? 1 being 100%, 100% plus the 70%, which is 0.7 in decimal form. Okay. So if we do this together, all together now, we're going to have $9 times 1 plus 0.7 would be 1.7. Okay. Now, if we do this on a calculator, 9 times 1.7, we would get the amount of 1530. Now, if you're ever confused on whether this is like your amount after we add it or just the amount that we're adding, take a look at this price compared to the original, right? It's more than the original, okay? So that means that's the amount we're adding. Or sorry, that's the total amount. The total amount. Okay. All right. So the wholesale price plus the markup would be a grand total of $15.30. So we're increased 70% of $9 and we get $15.30. So there's our answer. Okay, next one. Next one. Anthony bought a TV that originally cost $750. That's going to be a good TV. But it was on sale for 35% off. How much did he pay? So we want the price after the discount is taken off. So after discount. So we're going to use that after discount formula. Okay. Okay. So let's look at our little line diagram here. We know 100% of the item, the original cost was $750. Okay. We want to take 35% off. So 100 minus 35 is going to give us 65. Okay. So essentially we're paying 65% of the original amount. So let's put a 65% sign there. Okay. So this section right here is going to be the cost of TV after the discount. Okay. And this amount right here, the 35%, that's the 35% discount. Okay, so that's the amount we're taking off of the original price. So we want to know this amount right here. Okay, so we're going to use our after discount formula. We're going to have some answer, the new price after the discount is going to be equal to the original price, which is $750. Then we're going to multiply that. Okay, we're going to multiply that by 1 minus, I don't know why I'm writing discount. 1 minus the discount amount in decimal form. Okay. Now notice this right here is what we just did right here. 100 minus 100% minus 35% would be 75%. So that's what we're paying. We're doing the same thing right here. So it's 1 minus or 100% minus 35%. We're just using the decimal form. Okay. So let's keep going. So 750 times 0.65. So 1 minus 0.35 is 0.65. And my dog's chewing on a tree branch outside. I don't know if you can hear it. Okay. Focus. Let's do this. If we do this in our calculator, 750 times 0.65, we would get $487.50. So that is the price after the 35% off. Okay, so that's the price we're gonna pay. Hopefully this is starting to make sense. Okay. So we're gonna go through these ones a little bit faster now that we've gone through a couple examples. All right. So number one, the regular price of a shirt is $20. So that seems like important information. Regular price is 20, so that's the original amount. If it's 40% off, 0.4 in decimal form, what's the discount amount? So we want to know what the discount amount is. Okay, so if we look, zoom out, whoa, we want to zoom out, sorry. We're going to look over at our formulas and find the discount amount one and use that. Okay, so we're going to take the original price and multiply it by the discount amount in decimal form. Okay, so let's do that. I don't know what my dog is doing outside, but he's making a lot of rustling noises. Focus, Miss Monson. Okay, so we're going to take, we want to know the discount amount, and it's going to be equal to the original amount times the discount amount in decimal form, right? So remember that to get from percent to decimal, you divide by 100. Okay, quick note there. All right, if we did this in our calculators, we would do 20 times 0.4 and we would get a grand total of $12. So the answer here would be the price of the shirt will be reduced or discounted, reduced by $12. So that's not the price we're paying, that's the amount we're taking off. Okay. That actually does not sound right. I think that's the amount we're paying. I think the answer key is incorrect here. Hang on just a sec. Yeah. Not $12. Sorry to lead you astray. Well, I didn't lead you astray. The answer key. What is my dog doing? I'm gonna have to pause this in a second. Yeah, so that part's right. 20 times 0.4, that would equal $8. So it's gonna be reduced by $8. That's the amount we're taking off of $20. Okay, I'm gonna pause this really quick. See what my dog is destroying. Okay, my dog, it turns out, had somewhere found some bubble wrap. I have no idea where he found it and was tearing it apart outside. Okay. Fun story of the day. All right, number two, the original price. I would encourage you guys with these problems, to interrupt myself, I would encourage you with these problems to pause it and try to figure it out before, and then unpause it and go over it with me. Okay, so try these by yourselves just to see how comfortable you are with it. and then watch me explain it. Okay, so number 2, the original price of a CD is $12. The original price is $12. If it's marked up 60%, how much will the customers pay? So what we're looking for here is the after markup formula is going to be the one that you're using, okay? And we know that the OG price is $12 and the discount or the markup amount is 60%, which is 0.6. Now that we have all that information we need, we can do our formula. So we're trying to find the total amount after markup. We're going to take the original price. We're going to multiply it by 1 plus 0.6, the markup percent in decimal form. That looks like a B. It's a 6. Okay. All right. So step by step, parentheses first, 1 plus 0.6 would be 1.6. Okay, so we're paying 160% of the original price, right? We're adding 60% onto 100%. Now, if we did that, I'm not going to trust the answer key anymore. I'm going to actually do it on my trusty calculator. So if we do 12 times 1.6, we get what the heck? I think my dog found more. He's like prancing around my backyard with more bubble wrap in his mouth. Okay. We get $19.20. I'm sorry if I'm distracting you. Okay. So to write our answer in a sentence, customers will pay total of $19.20 for the CD. I know you guys are like, what's a CD? You're all so young. Okay, there we go. Number 3, our meal was originally $42.40, but because it was late, we received a 15% discount. How much did we pay after the discount? Okay, so we're talking about discount. We know the original price is $42.40. We received a 15% discount. How much did we pay after the discount? So we're looking for the after discount formula. Okay, so we're looking for some amount, the total amount we're paying after we take the discount off. The original price is $42.40. Again, look back at the formulas while you're doing these. Okay, $42.40, and we're going to multiply that by 1 minus 0.15. We're subtracting this time instead of adding like we did before because it's a discount. Okay, and 0.15 because it's 15%. If we divided 15 by 100 to get our decimal, we'd get 0.15. Okay, all right, now let's do this. 42.40. We're multiplying that by 1 minus 0.15, okay, which would be 0.85. So that, just to interpret that, it means we're paying 85% of the original price of $42.40. Okay, so $42.40 times 0.85 will give us a grand total of $36.04. So we would say the meal will cost $36.04 after the discount. Okay, awesome. Next one, Josephine had paid $42 for a dress that had been on sale for 30% off. What's the original amount? Okay. So basically, we're going to be using the one we just did, but we're kind of working backwards this time. Okay. So instead of knowing the original amount and the discount amount, we are actually looking for the original amount. Okay. So the original amount we don't know, right? We don't know what it is, so I'm going to put X for just to stand for whatever that cost is. You could use a question mark if you want, whatever. We do know that she paid $42 total after the discount was taken off, right? So that's the total. So the original price we would multiply by 1 minus 0.3, right? Because we're taking off, we're subtracting 30% of the original price. All right, let's do this. 1 minus 0.3 is going to give us 0.7. So to interpret that, it means basically she paid 70% of the total price, original price. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna read that again and rephrase it. $42 is 70% of some amount. Whenever you see of in mathematics, it means multiply. Okay. So that's just the same thing as what we wrote before. So how would we find it? How would we find it? Well, if right now we're multiplying by that percent to get the amount, we could actually divide by this amount to get that. Okay, so right now we're multiplying, which is what we would do normally, but we are working backwards this time, right? So if we're working backwards, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to divide. Okay, so we're going to do 42 divided by 0.7, and that will give us the original amount. Okay, hopefully that made sense. We'll go over a lot more of these problems, don't worry, but again, because we're working backwards, we have to do the opposite of what we would normally do. So 42 divided by 0.7 will give us a grand total of $60. So what does that mean? Well, it means that the dress was originally $60. Okay, so it was originally $60. And you can also verify this, right? We could say the original amount was $60. We can multiply it by 0.7, which is the amount she's paying, right? We took 30% off, right? And that would give us 42. Okay. All right. Hopefully that made sense and you're doing okay. I would take a break before you move on to the percent of change. These ones are going to go a little bit faster. Okay. And this is the only thing we're doing today. You don't have extra practice problems or anything. I know this video is a little long, but hang in there. The rest of the week will not be as long. Okay, it'll be quite a bit shorter. Okay, let's do this. Percent of change. Okay. So let's talk about percent increase and percent decrease. Percent increase and percent decrease. Okay. Percent increase basically just means, I'll read it first, then I'll write it down. An amount that a quantity, so some amount, has increased compared to the original amount. So amount that a quantity has increased compared to the original amount. Like, haven't heard my dog in a few minutes. I'm worried what mischief he's getting into. So I might have to pause this in a second. Okay, percent decrease. Basically same thing, but we're decreasing. So an amount that a quantity has decreased by compared to the original amount. And if that doesn't make sense yet, don't worry, we will explain everything with this example. But I'm going to first pause this and make sure my dog's not destroying something. 1 second. Oh, I wish I was recording this with a webcam and I would show you what's happening. My dog was quiet because he was hunting a grasshopper and now he's playing with his food. His food meaning the grasshopper. Okay. Kind of like that picture I showed you a couple weeks ago. All right. Calculating percent of change. So here's the steps you're going to use. So if you're ever confused on what to do for these types of problems, you are going to follow these steps. Okay. So the first step is to find the amount of change. Whoa, sorry, that was my really loud phone vibrating. Okay, find the amount of change by subtracting the lesser. This is like too thick. It's covering up everything. Subtracting the lesser amount from the greater amount. So you're going to do the greater amount minus the lesser amount. Okay, equals change. Okay, just want to make sure we're subtracting in the right order. Then you're going to identify the original amount. So you're going to say like OG equals whatever. Then you're going to substitute those numbers that you just found, so the change number and the OG number, into this formula. So you're going to put the change number on top, the original price on the bottom, or original amount on the bottom, and you're going to divide them just like we divide numerator by denominator with like unit rate. So it's going to be change divided by the original. Change amount divided by the original amount. Okay, that will give you a decimal. So from that decimal, you need to convert to a percent. To do that, you do decimal, whatever the decimal is, times 100, and that gives you the percent. Just a quick review on decimals percent. And include if it was an increase or decrease. So you need to actually write like 60% increase or 30% decrease or whatever it is, okay? So let's go over this example. Danielle's math average in the first quarter was a 96. In the second quarter, it was 80. What was the percent change of in her math grade? All right. So first step, find the amount of change by subtracting the lesser amount from the greater amount. So the lesser amount would be 80, the greater is 96, okay? So let's use purple, sort of purple, okay, magenta. All right, so change amount is going to be the bigger number minus the smaller number. So 96 minus 80 gives us 16. So that's change. Now the original amount was 96. So that's the first quarter, right? Now we're going to do the change divided by the original. Okay, so we're gonna do the change amount, which was 16, divided by 96, so 1696. Okay, so 16 divided by 96, and that will give us a really long decimal, 0.166666666 forever, right? So we'll just say 167. Okay. So now we're on step 4. We're going to convert that decimal to a percent. So 0.167, we're going to times by or multiply by 100. And we get 16.6%. So for our answer, we would say decrease, because it's going down from 96 to 80, a decrease of 16.6%. Woo! That one's a little easier than the markups and discounts, right? Okay, let's go over a couple of these. I'll go over one of these and then you can do the other 3. Okay. All right. Let's do number 3 together. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. We're going to do number 3 together. So in 2014, there was 510 students that attended Grimway Academy. Sounds like a sad academy, grim academy. In 2015, 85 more students enrolled. What was the percent of change? So keep in mind here, we don't know the total amount in 2015, but it actually already gives us the change amount. Okay. It gives us the change amount. So instead of calculating change this time by doing the greater number minus the smaller number, they already gave it to us. It's 85. Okay. Now, if it asked you to find the total for 2015, we would just add 510 plus 85 to get 595. So that's how many students there were in 2015. So the change is 85 more. The original, I'm going to put OG just to shorten it. The original the original amount of students was 510. So now we're going to do the change amount divided by the original amount, which gives us strange, same thing we just did, 0.1666666, blah, blah, blah. Let's just round it this time to, we're going to round it to 2 decimal places, so 0.17. Okay. Now we're going to take that decimal and make it a percent by multiplying by 100. And we get 17%. So your answer would be an increase of 17%. Okay, hopefully this is a nice change of pace from the discounts and markup. Whoa, discount and markup problems. It's slightly easier, or I guess less involved, takes less time. So do 1, 2, and 4, 1, 2, and 4, and then you're done for today. Okay, I'm not going to give answers on those because I want to see how you guys can do with that. All right, I know the discount and markups were a pretty complicated one with new stuff in it. So if you have questions while we're working on discounts and markups the next couple days and percent of change, just let me know. Or if you have questions like while or after watching this video explanation, please let me know. Okay, I'd be happy to give you more examples or try to explain it a different way. Okay. Awesome job today. I know it's kind of long, but the next couple days will be a little shorter. Actually, the recording was only an hour and 5 minutes, so that's actually good timing because class is 55 minutes, and I can give you like around like 20-30 minutes of homework a day. So we are well within our limits here. All right. Good luck with those other percent change ones. You guys are awesome. Let me know if you have questions.